What's up, y'all? I am Robert Glasper.
I am Jahi Sundance.
Indeed. And this is Black Radio Backstage.
BRB.
Aura. It should be Aura. With
BRB?
Yeah, 2 syllables.
Okay.
That's how my dad would say it. Or anybody, you know.
Whatever you say. RB.
Aura, like Aura and B.
B-R-A-N-B.
B-Aura and a B.
That's the one.
For sure. You know what it is.
We're working on it.
Absolutely. Welcome to the show. We're just going to have fun. We have some special guests. And we're just going to chit-chat. You know,
Who we got today on the show?
Today on the show, we have one of my favorite vocalists of all time. One of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Agreed.
Absolutely agreed.
Universally agreed. It's been
universally agreed.
Not universally.
Universally, it is
locally.
Nah.
One of the most iconic, mimicked, and just revered artists ever. And I'm grateful to say this is my sister. And it's, you know, hey, Miss Lalah Hathaway.
Yay! It's me. Hi.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
You too.
You look great, by the way.
Thank you. I can't even see your eyes.
You know what I mean? Because if I do, I'm going to be squinting the whole time and looking weird.
That's why this bang is working out for a girl.
Yeah, you have that. Exactly. Yeah, so good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You know what I mean? It's pretty much our backstage banter, but on a microphone. That's
Sure.
kind of pretty much what
It
this
changes
is.
when there's a camera a little bit sometimes, though, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Question for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time we met?
Was
I do.
Was it in New York?
It was in New York.
Was Prince there?
Yes, he was.
Yes,
No.
I remember it well. Because I remember thinking, that dude's tall. I thought you were really tall that day. I don't know why I thought that. I do remember we met at a gig, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
At your gig, it was at BB King's.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I forgot until you just said it. Prince was there.
Prince was there.
And I didn't get to meet him.
Me
but
neither.
You didn't meet him there either?
No, and I was glad because I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous.
Wait, was somebody else on that gig? Or was it just you?
I don't know. I can't remember who might have supported us up front, but
I don't remember seeing anybody before.
Okay.
That used to be like
I was
one
at
of our
BB
good
King's
gigs.
and Prince was there.
You were?
Did
Yeah.
You trying to say he just went to BB King's to just hang out?
Either he was hanging out at BB King's or I was there.
He liked the fries.
Or I was there the night that y'all met.
Were you at Layla's show at BB King's?
I went to a Layla show.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Because you would have. Didn't you guys know each other then?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
No, I wasn't. Oh, absolutely. We knew each other,
Yeah,
of
okay.
course. This is
Okay.
like 2010 or something.
Was it?
I literally went there to ask you to come be on Black Radio.
You did?
to come do it. I think I asked you, I want to have you do a gig with me,
Mhm.
and then I wanted you to do Black Radio.
Did you? You didn't ask me that night, did you?
No.
Okay.
Mike Allberg
Yeah.
connected us because he
Uh-huh.
was playing, I think he was playing with you
Yeah,
that night.
absolutely.
And me and Mike went to college together.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Mike. And he was like, I could put you on the guest list. I was like, oh man, thanks. Boom, boom. So me and Gretchen Parlato came together. That's right.
Did I meet Gretchen that night?
You might have met her that night because
I thought you came with the what's the woman's name? Really nice lady in New York that's the agent. I thought you came with
Jill?
the agent. Jill.
Jill was probably there. That makes
Jill-
sense. She,
Well, there-
you know,
Jill was there.
she was there too.
She'll be at the gigs.
Yeah, because I was producing Gretchen's album at the time.
Got you.
And we came from the studio, right from the studio
Oh.
to your show. Mike Allberg got us in, and we sat down in the booth. And I looked to my right, and Prince was no one was there. Then I looked again at some point,
And he just
appeared there.
he just magically
appeared, and we're sitting on top of the chair in the booth. You know, the top of the booth,
yeah.
like the chair is here, but I was sitting on top of that. You know,
And Prince was like
and Prince
here.
he got on top of that too.
Oh.
So me and Prince connected your whole show. Every time you did something crazy, we would look back at each other and go, woo!
that is amazing.
We were literally connecting. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's going down after this. I'm gonna meet him. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna connect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then boom, we're gonna make some music.
And
That's
then you
how it's
looked
gonna
over
go.
and he had vanished again.
I looked over, him and his whole team vanished. Exactly. They
Yeah.
vanished.
That's a real thing. Like people joke about it, but when I went to play with him I was sitting in the audience, just watching the band set up. And then I just felt a hand on my shoulder, and it was Prince. It just freaked me out because he would appear and then as quickly disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, yeah, I was like,
Very
but in my mind,
special.
I was like, oh, he backstage.
Here we go.
So I'm like,
He did not come backstage. He came backstage and he didn't make it to my area. And by the time I came out, he was gone.
right,
I was so sad.
right. But you connected with him after that.
I did. I went
Anytime.
and opened some shows for him, and yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So that night, I saw you when I met you. First thing you said to me, I remember the first thing you said.
What?
You were like, can you sing a chord? Can you sing a triad?
I said that to you? Why did I say that to you?
I think Mike Allberg said something that spawned that.
Oh.
Something like that. You were like, can you sing a triad? And I was like, I
That's
think I just
weird.
sang the notes of a triad.
Yeah.
Taylor.
You're like,
That's
yeah, I got
weird.
it.
That's what you know.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Whew," and you did the thing with the chords, and then you moved them around, and I was just like, "What did I just watch? What the hell is that?"
Alberg must have had set us up.
No, he did. He
had
set something
us
up. It was Mike.
yeah.
He set something up. I remember being like, "What the hell is?" So anyway, that's where we met. And then we did Blue Note, the jazz club, for like a few nights, 2 or 3 nights.
God, it's all a blur.
I know.
Have I
Yeah.
known you over 10 years now?
Absolutely. We met in whenever that BB King gig was, it was probably 2000, no earlier than 2010. We recorded Black Radio
Wow.
in 2011.
Wow.
And I remember we did, many people don't know, when we did Cherish Today,
Mhm.
that was the first take, and that was literally the sound check.
Yeah.
You were like reading your phone.
Which is why if you listen to that intro where I'm singing, going, huh? Wait a minute. Huh? Like, oh, they changed the trying to find y'all.
And
Absolutely.
we faded it in because you were even going mic check 1 2, check 1 2. Like you were doing all the sound checky things.
Yeah.
And then we faded it in, and then
Yeah.
it was so good. And then after we finished, I should have kept this. You were like, I'm ready. Or something like that. Like, I'm ready now for the
Oh, yeah.
actual thing. And I was like, nope, we're good. Thanks.
Oh, that'd be the best and the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes I walk in and people are, I don't know, expecting me to do that. And
Yeah.
so sometimes I don't even get a chance to really work a thing the way I would want to try to work it.
Right.
But sometimes it's magic.
But it could be most of the time you're magic. I mean,
Oh.
you do things so fast and so effortless.
Cut it out.
No, I'm saying. I always say you're a musician singer. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
Because there are very few of you where it's like, you don't care what key it's in. Because this is how I feel about a lot of singers. I feel like,
Uh-oh.
I know, we get into some territory now. I feel like a lot of singers get everything handed to them perfectly how they want it to be. Therefore, they never have to work this instrument out in a real way.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, a mediocre musician still knows how to play in all the keys because they got to.
Yes,
They
most of
have
them.
to.
Yes.
Most of them have to. If you play with any singer ever, you're going to have to just learn some strange keys and learn how to get around and be uncomfortable. And in being uncomfortable, you get good.
Right. Okay,
know
so
what I mean?
let me say this. In terms of the voice being the instrument, there are limitations.
Mhm.
Like you are going to have to learn how to, if you want to start giant steps in B, that's going to be a bitch. And you're going to have to figure that out.
Mhm.
But as a singer, there are certain limitations to the instrument. Now,
Mhm.
having said that, my whole situation was that in college, when I started actually playing, I realized that no one else was changing these keys. And I am a person that feels and tastes the color of music.
Mhm.
And so I don't like to change it if I don't have to anyway.
Mm.
But in order to be able to play with those guys and to continue learning like that, those people, because there were a couple of women as well, we didn't change the keys. We call the tune and let's play the tune. I want to be able to play it in any key, and my voice is such that I have to be able to jump around anyway because I don't sing like most people.
Mhm.
So that is why.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think there is what you say, part of that is true, that a lot of times, the singer is expected to stand up there, and particularly females, to stand up there and look cute and be coy and front the band, which is a disservice to them as musicians if that's what they're truly trying to become.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm trying to blend in I'm trying to be in the horn section and be like a keyboard and be a sound effect and be all the things,
Right.
you know.
Exactly. No, that's the thing, because you get challenged in that way.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out, well, I can't sing the melody in that way. Let me figure
out how to flip it. Yeah.
All those things.
Absolutely.
But if you're used to getting it handed to you exactly how you want it in the exact key, you're never really getting challenged. Therefore, you can't get.
But the other thing is that if you just don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? So if you never tried to transcribe, filibuster, and sing the melody in all 12 keys, you don't know that that's something that you should do to challenge your instrument or your mind.
Right.
You just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You know, you've probably been singing in church and you're probably the best singer at your church.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those songs you know in those keys. And so a lot of times they just don't know what they don't know.
Right. Exactly.
You said that you can see and taste music just now. I believe that's synesthesia, right?
I think so. I don't know. It's like
Do you see colors? Do you taste?
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
have do notes taste?
Some things, yeah. Mhm.
What notes? What do they taste like? And what
It
notes are they?
depends. Sometimes
This
I
is
hear
so
like
I know, right?
tuning has a taste in my mouth for sure. People's sounds have a taste in my mouth for sure. I definitely see color. Y'all see color.
I
Yeah?
don't see color.
You do.
Well, we're colorblind, so we don't see color at all.
No, all notes matter.
Everything's equal.
No, all notes
all
matter.
notes matter.
No, you know how you're playing something and then he'll change it and it will make the temperature in the room shift and it'll get blue.
Oh,
That
those
doesn't
things,
happen?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know the color to that.
But
attached to
it's
it.
whatever you attach to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something changes for sure.
Like when you hear somebody singing sharp, right?
Ooh.
It doesn't have like a lemony, zesty, yellow vibe to it
Yeah, to
in
me,
your
it
mouth.
has more like a nickel in your mouth.
There you go.
A penny
It's
in
a
your
weird-
like that feeling of that metallic
wrong.
feeling
I hear that.
in your neck.
You know
I
that
hear
it's
that.
wrong.
And sharp is worse than flat.
Here's the thing.
Which one for you?
Sharp is like you almost tried too hard and it's funny. It's like an anxiety. Flat is I'm kind of like, I feel like you didn't even try. You didn't even try. No, you didn't even try. I find sharp better for me because it's funnier.
No, sharp's more hilarious. Because it also gives you the feeling of going somewhere, like modulating. Like I'm about to
Yeah, like,
change keys,
ooh.
but I never do.
If I can get sharp and a super fast vibrato, I'm done. I'm
That'd be
done for
amazing.
it. That's better than any comedian.
Yeah, this
Is really bad singing. I love it. Flat is the worst. There are some like chronic offenders of the flat line, like, and that is in a brown magenta family for me. There are some constantly bad flat singers, and flat for me is, I can't.
Really?
No, I don't like flat.
Flat is like so bluesy though.
No. Flat is bluesy on purpose when you hit a minor 3 or a minor 7. But if you just, no, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all.
Your pops, legendary. Do you ever feel any? I mean, obviously, if you're watching this podcast, I hope you know Donny Hathaway is her dad, obviously.
Hold. One time I was
Hold
at a
on.
radio station and the man said, we got some tickets here to give away. Lalah Hathaway tickets. Okay, let's make it easy. Just call in. Be the fifth caller. Tell me who's Layla's famous father is. And the man called, I got it. Johnny Mathis. We were both like, no.
I would have gave him the tickets just so I could meet him in person, just so I could say, "Did you really? Were you serious?"
He meant that too.
Oh my gosh.
I still get questions though. I got a question like that last week on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, are you related to Donny Hathaway? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I am.
Absolutely.
I like it when people don't know.
Yeah. Do you?
I do. It means that they came to me fully fresh.
True.
They just didn't have a clue.
True.
And I love it also when people say, oh, I don't know Donny Hathaway.
Talk to us a little bit about that, because being someone who does what they're parent did
Mm,
in a very legendary way.
sure.
And now you're also singing. Talk to us about, was that a burden? Was it, how did you feel about that? With people expecting, I'm sure the expectations on you were just tremendous.
I'm sure, and they still are. I mean, I don't know. I would have to literally come back as someone else to know.
Right.
But I am so hard on myself generally anyway. Like they don't even understand what's happening at all. So no one could put as much pressure on me as I could put on myself. I don't really have any, like the pressure to be my father's daughter. That is not a thing because I'm a woman. I think that if I were a boy, I would be named Donny Hathaway, and then there would be pressure because you'll never be that. Right. And I feel like because I'm a woman, it's a whole different situation. Right. And what I try to do is when people say, "Oh, I've never heard of Donny Hathaway," I say, "Oh, The Closer I Get to You," "Oh," or the theme song from Maude, "Oh," or This Christmas, "Oh." I feel like we have a similar career trajectory where we are like super famous, unfamous people, or like favorites among our peers, but not really necessarily like the commercial favorites. Right. But people know, right. They just don't know they know. Right. So I don't feel that pressure like that, really. I don't really deal with that.
Right. Hey, Jahi.
What? What up, Rob?
You know what I wonder?
What you wondering?
I wonder what's on Layla's rider.
Yo, what's on your rider? What's on your rider? What's on your rider? What's on your rider, boo? What's on your rider? Yeah.
What's on your rider? You guys are aggressive.
Do you want to ride or die? Do you want to ride or
So go ahead. Now you got to rap. What's on your rider? Go ahead.
I'm not a rapper. I can sing it. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's what's on my rider. Here's the thing. My rider is hella simple because I have been making records now for 35 years, and a lot of your shit that you asked for ain't coming. So,
what's some of the things that you asked for that they never give you?
I mean, it's be simple stuff like, can I get, wheat bread instead of white?
Right.
Can I get creamy peanut butter instead of crunchy? Can I get name brand such and such? So my rider is like, I have jelly beans on my rider because I like a little sweet during the day.
We got some jelly beans for you.
Got some jelly beans. Most of my rider, though, is really made for my mother and for my road manager, who's also my partner. So there's stuff on there like cookies with the cream filling, a bottle of Chardonnay, stuff I will never, ever eat. Right. And when folks asked me for the rider today, I was like, my rider's so regular. So I was thinking, if I could ask for anything, half a chicken, rotisserie, please. A loaf of bread, a gallon of whole milk, also a stick of butter, just because I remember. But it's jelly beans.
Where's the butter going?
Your rider sounds like a trip to the grocery store.
Absolutely.
That my mom would give me like.
That's it. A loaf of butter.
Home, going to put it in your fridge.
I'm going to send you to the store, and I want you to bring back a loaf of bread, a stick of butter, and a quart of milk. Y'all not old enough to remember that. So it's the jelly beans.
In the egg.
Dark brown, hazel brown.
Not the legs stockings that y'all remember. Ooh, wait.
Some garbage bags. Like, wait a minute.
So it's this. I really like the jelly beans, the butter popcorn flavored jelly beans. I really like those. And
whoa. Before you say just that's like the most hated jelly bean flavor.
It's so good.
Have you had one?
No. Yes, I have.
The butter popcorn jelly bean?
I have, but it's not worse than the licorice one. I don't like it.
I like licorice too.
I don't like the black one.
You don't like the black one?
Don't be racial.
I thought you were supposed to be colorblind.
I like all the colors except the black one.
I love the jelly beans. I have some in a day. Somehow this naked juice thing got on here, and by that we mean fruit juice.
Right.
I just want some sort of juice.
Gotcha.
And so Jermaine kind of fixes up my rider, and
Right.
There are things on there, and for the meals and stuff. I don't
probably put a PlayStation on the right, didn't he?
Jermaine has everything. He handles everything. But I don't eat on a show day.
Really?
No.
Why?
Because it slows me down. Like I can't think. As I get older, I find that if I eat on a show day, my thoughts are slower.
So you eat nothing. You just drink
I
water?
just really don't eat on a show day.
Just drink water,
I'll have coffee.
coffee.
Really?
I might eat before noon, but then I don't eat again until after show.
Right.
You know, like we play those places where there's 2 sets and you eat between sets?
Yeah. I can't eat between sets.
Me neither.
I try not
I'm
to.
gassy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't think.
I want to take a nap.
Yeah,
If I eat
it makes me
between- all right,
tired.
makes me
Yeah.
sleepy.
My reaction time is slower.
Yeah.
So the jelly beans keep me all hopped up.
Okay. Gotcha.
The natural fruit juice.
That
I
makes
I
sense.
try to be healthy on the road.
Yeah.
I got a big run coming up though, like
When?
starting the end of this month through the end of next month. But it's like 28 shows in 4 days.
Oh.
3
So,
sets a night.
3 sets a night and in the afternoon. And so I got to keep myself like
Yeah,
in good shape.
absolutely.
Or
That's the hardest part, being on the road and trying to be in shape.
It is very hard.
Those two things are so hard to
It's
do.
very hard. For me, it's to travel.
Mhm.
Like I don't sit in the planes well anymore. I don't like being in the airport. It's just a drag.
Yeah.
I would love to go on a bus. Bus is perfect.
That's the bus is the best.
That's my favorite thing.
Absolutely.
The busing and the cruising. Those are
Yeah.
my 2 favorite parts of the year.
Absolutely.
Oh, you like the cruise?
I love the cruise.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing.
Cruises get tricky because then you know how you end up trying to sneak and get some food because after a while the people
I'm virtually anonymous in the streets. Understand this. You are like a tall, big presence.
Yeah, you can see me.
I just kind of swarm around to the buffet, and I'm not afraid to stay in my room either. But
Yeah,
the issue on those cruises is I find myself working every night.
right.
But
Oh,
that cruise
true
I
that.
did with you was really fun. I really liked the opportunity to be with my friends for like a week
Yeah,
and eat food and
Yeah,
laugh
yeah,
and go to the
absolutely.
martini bar and hang out.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
my
also
favorite.
fun.
Yeah.
That is true. If you're on a cruise and there's a bunch of different bands and musicians,
It's
they're all going to
fun.
want you to sing
Yeah, and I have records with all of them.
with everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I work a lot on the cruises.
Speaking of records, how was working with my guy, rest in peace, Joe Sample?
Oh, Joe, did you meet him?
Yes.
Joe was a trip.
He was hilarious. I actually got to hang out with him a few months before he passed. Him and
Mhm.
Randy Crawford were at a bar.
Oh, wow.
We were at a bar in Detroit.
Wow.
I've heard this
the-
story.
the
This
Detroit-
is a good one.
The
Wow.
Detroit Jazz Festival. And me, him, and Randy and Jason Moran. We're at the bar. We're just chopping it up. Randy's hilarious too.
Absolutely.
Joe just kept apologizing.
They're from another time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Entirely.
It was her
Entire-
birthday.
Oh, wow.
I had to go. She liked this Obama shirt I had on that some artist made, gave to me, and she loves Obama. And she was like, "Can I please have your shirt? Can I please have your shirt?" And she offered me something too for the shirt.
What'd she offer you?
Not money.
So, and he was like, Joe was like, "I'm sorry, man. It's her birthday. She a little saucy." I was like,
When Joe is apologizing for you?
"Yeah,
That's
it's real."
funny.
But we were in our hotel lobby bar.
Mhm.
So I went upstairs and changed shirts and gave her my
Oh,
shirt.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I love Joe. I grew up on
He was
on the,
so much fun. Like
Yeah.
if you knew how he would tell a story and you would just be wrapped. He just was such a storyteller.
Yeah.
I find Marcus Miller like this as well. But Joe was such we would sit on the bus and I would just sit across from him on the bus. He would tell all these stories about growing up in Houston, about traveling with the Crusaders when the cops would stop their van and make them get out and play the instruments that they could. And sometimes he would have to dance because there was no keys, like coming through the neighborhoods of those wards and spraying pesticides, just like hitting the children. I mean, all these stories from like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. As a Black musician in the South, he would just tell these stories and I would just, he was absolutely one of the greatest musicians I ever was mentored by.
Mhm.
And being on stage with him, you could be anyone on stage except for the drummer, because he was very hard on the drummer.
Mhm.
But to be there on stage with him and watch him lead his band and the way that he played was really, it really informed the way that I talk to my band and treat the band and how I work with the band.
Mm-hmm.
He was a chef too, you know.
You can cook?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We would go to Japan and Joe would say, "Come on, girl." We go out to the yatais and, you know, like in Osaka and in the little towns, they have those little street vendors with all like the really good, you could get like okra and eggplant and all this like soul food.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go and buy knives and go and buy stuff and then come home and cook.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's amazing.
Wow.
You touched a little bit about some political stories, and not political stories, but stories about the 40s and 50s that he was telling you. And you seem super engaged on that kind of stuff. Your internet presence is super political.
You think so?
Not super, but I do think you are taking time amongst your posts. Like if you have 5 posts, one of those 5 is going to be addressing something that's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, you know, super dope. And I want to know what you think about like that if artists have a responsibility politically or if they don't. Like what are your thoughts on like the political responsibilities of artists?
I feel like as an artist, the whole point of the platform, other than to make music, is to inform, however we do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the music that I create, the art that I create is mirroring what's happening like in my head and then in my bedroom, in my house, at my kitchen counter, on my street, in my city, in my country, you know? So it's really important to me if I'm gonna be up there talking about, you know, oh, I got a new haircut. I also have to talk about what I'm seeing and what's informing me as an artist. And right now, there's a lot of little, you know, a lot of little people suffering all over the world, in the Congo, and I mean, all over the world, in Gaza, you know, in around here, in the blocks around where we are now.
Right outside the door.
Right outside the door.
Yeah.
And it's very important for me to say something about that. There's nothing more annoying to me than to see an artist with like 800 straight posts, like, look at me, give me your money, buy my records. Say something. Say something.
You want to name some of those artists?
No.
Oh.
Let's get into it.
You know, honestly, it's everybody's prerogative to do what they're going to do. And so I'm not going to judge, but I'm saying that I cannot look and not say anything.
Yeah.
That's not me.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I think, Jahi?
What?
I think I'm going to have to do a little accidental genius.
What?
Accidental genius. Tell me what happened now. Something went wrong and then it went right. And we want to know what it was.
After you finished.
What it is.
What it was about.
What it was. When you did it.
So tell us what's actually that was the first ever performance.
Ever. That's the first one.
Of
That was
the
good.
theme song for Accidental Genius.
Absolutely.
Tell us about Accidental Genius.
The premise of this is basically, you know, when us as artists and musicians, we do things and they start off kind of wrong and not how we planned. But then somehow it ends up right.
Yeah.
It ends up working out somehow. It could be a show, it could be an album, it could be a song, a situation. You know what I mean? But we just want to know from Lalah Hathaway, do you have an accidental genius moment?
The biggest one that I can think of is, so I have this thing that I started doing when I was 12 or 13 years old where I would make like a train sound, and then it started developing into like something else where I could sometimes get a triad, which is 3 notes, or sometimes I could get a 6 chord, like a good, almost fully in tune 6 chord, right?
Wow.
And I would show it to people and say, hey, what do you think about this?
Right.
And they would say, oh, it's cool. What is it, a train? It's like an Amtrak train or whatever.
Right.
And then I would do it. I did it on a John P. Key record as a joke, and he kept it.
Right.
And then our good friend Sput called me and said, hey, you got to come check out my band. We're going to be making a record. We want you to sing on the record. we got one of your songs, we reharmed it. Just come. It's not really paying a whole lot of money, but just, you should come.
Right.
So I went to Roanoke and I tried to sing this thing that I do. And it's not working the first time or the second time, but then the third time it worked.
Right.
And then the fourth time I realized I could change the tones. So that was fully accidental because I didn't know that I could change the embouchure of my mouth and change the tones.
And that's what we saw in that video.
And that's what you saw in that Snarky Puppy
I
video.
did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought that this was a thing that you had gained control over
I
well
still
before
don't have
that
control
video.
over it. I don't have control over it now.
Really?
No,
We can end the podcast. Let's.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it's 2 notes, sometimes it's 4 notes. Get into it. Use your air. Just use the air. Just more air. More air. Concentrate.
This-
Focus. Focus.
You know what?
Smart
I gotta
air.
drink something. Mm.
You sound like Fat Albert trying to breathe.
I sound like a fat ghost. I don't. Yeah.
It's weird. I can't control it. I don't know what it is. It's funny to watch people tell me how I'm doing it though.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. But I went to an ear, nose, and throat and they put the camera down there and I watched it while I did it. And my
Really?
actual chords, you know how they vibrate like this to make a sound.
Mhm.
When I do that, I somehow will them to not close all the way to make the sound. I don't know how it's happening.
Huh. I saw one lady do it from Africa, but it was only 2 notes.
And then was it on that kind of sound?
I'm trying to think. I remember I was at the Up Over Jazz Cafe in Brooklyn. And this African
You
woman
saw it
got
live?
I saw it live, yeah. She was
Wow.
right there in front of my face.
Yeah.
And she did it, but it was only 2 notes. It wasn't 3 notes.
Uh-huh.
And she did. I was like, what? And I think I asked her about it. She's like, yeah, it's from my tribe. So,
Oh,
so. So
wow.
it's definitely, I feel like some African something.
You know, it
Well, the
has,
Mongolians do it too.
but that's different. That's
is different than
there's
what you're
Tuvan
doing.
people
Yeah.
doing it. There's all kinds of things that people ascribe to what I'm doing. I don't know what it is, and it has to be ancestral because what else? Because what else
Absolutely.
could it be?
Absolutely.
But I think I don't
could
even
be
know how
alien.
to. It could be alien.
Yep. I've always thought you were not from here anyway.
That's what people
So
say.
tell us about when you were abducted. How did that?
Oh, the probing.
Tell us the story.
I don't know.
Because you
It's
can follow
weird.
the changes. Because when you did that last one,
Sorta.
when you went, woo,
Yeah,
and
I
then
never-
that's when everybody
And
fell
I
off the
never,
instrument.
it never had happened before us. That was my accidental genius. I didn't. It's out of my control. It doesn't always
Wow.
work.
And I
So-
felt like, because that was Corey, right?
Mm-hmm.
It felt like Corey was reharming as y'all were going.
He was.
And that's why that moment was so crazy too, because it was literally, he was in the moment and you were in the moment.
Exactly.
And it was like,
We are linked
y'all was linked.
for eternity because
And I don't know a single singer who hasn't seen that video.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
You have to see it.
Not one.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's not one Berkeley musician who hasn't seen that video.
It's a thing.
Like,
Absolutely.
that is a highly like you have to see
I
that video.
know.
No,
If
so-
you
It's
play
so
music,
weird,
you have to see
too.
that video.
Absolutely.
So people talk about the thing, right? But there's like 5.5 minutes of information that come before the thing too.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
So, if I sit in with you, like
Mm.
I'm kind of like a 32 bars and out. I don't really take a whole lot of time.
Mhm.
And in that situation, I don't know why I kept going. I guess I was trying to get to that, but I
Mhm.
just didn't know.
Mhm.
So that was definitely accidental because I don't even usually sing that long when
Yeah.
I'm sitting in.
Yeah. No, that's the impossible part. That's the part where it's like, there's no other recording of anyone vocally doing that I've ever heard.
Right.
I
don't
see
even
it
know
now,
who to
though.
point as.
I see people doing it now, though, on
3 notes?
YouTube, trying to, get it.
Mhm.
And I see people kind of affecting the way that I did it, which
Mhm.
is amazing to me. It's just so amazing to see like people on the internet learn a solo I sang.
Yeah.
So sometimes I see bass players playing a solo that
Absolutely.
I'm singing,
Yeah.
or guitar players playing a solo that I'm singing.
Yeah.
And that speaks to like the just the musician in me. It makes me really happy
Absolutely.
and proud.
You're making it. I guess that's the pattern, because some things that look impossible, you make it seem like it's
Yeah.
You can reach it. It's a reachable goal, like half court shots now being on the three. It's like a 3-pointer now.
Right.
Steph
It's
Curry
also,
made that a
it's
thing.
also that musicians, like, I go to places and talk to kids about like music, and I say, how many musicians in the room? And all the boys will raise their hand. How many singers in the room? And all the girls will raise their hand.
Right.
And I'll say, singers, you have to become musicians.
Right.
And musicians, you have to become singers. There's a synergy happening where I want to sing like you play,
Right.
and you want to play melodically, maybe like I sing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's the symbiotic.
Absolutely.
Kind of nature.
Because they're not the same thing.
They are not.
And
Well, I was going to ask you guys to talk about what do you think the bridge is? How does a musician become a singer? How does a singer become a musician?
I'll go even further. All singers and all musicians are not artists.
Absolutely not. There are definitely lines of demarcation. I mean, when I got to college, all the guys on my floor, I got to college with Janet Jackson Control, Pat Metheny, First Circle, and like a Jean-Luc Ponty record. Those were my records. I thought I got everything.
Right.
I got these Tone Master tapes, and everything I need is on these tapes.
Right.
And there were dudes down the hall that said, oh no, we got you. Do you know who John Schofield is? Do you know who Kenny Garrett is?
Right.
Do you know who, I got all infused with this music.
Right.
And I was able to say to them, well, do you know who Donny Hathaway is? Do you know who Shirley Horn is?
Right.
So it's the listening that very rarely occurs in a deep and meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how the gap is bridged.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned so much listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Listening to the way you play. At times, like there are moments when we're playing and I feel like I can tell when you are super engaged.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can tell when you are holding the space for others to be super engaged.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you know because you've been there.
I do.
But there are moments when you're gone and I'm keyed in to like, what is that? I'm getting all of that information and storing it somehow because that's what my mind does with music, so that I can have that to present as part of my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation next time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the intense like listening that occurs.
Absolutely. So many people don't realize the listening is most of the battle.
It's 90%.
Like that's because a lot of people ask me like, yo, what is it about your high school? I went to the High School for Performing Arts in Houston. A lot of great musicians come out of there. Like, what is it about that school? And we realized there's two things about that school that were great. One of the things was they allowed teachers to teach at the school that didn't have degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're musicians.
If you taught a music class or an art class, any of the artsy classes, you didn't have to have a degree. You just had to be good at what you did.
Right.
You could be a cat, come off the street, one of the cats in the city.
That's important.
And teach the piano lab.
Absolutely.
And the second thing was dope was we had a listening class.
Oh.
We literally had a class where you go in there and for 1 hour, we would bring in this thing that had tape deck and a CD player. And
on the public school cart.
Yep, on the public school cart.
With the wheels.
And a record player. And everybody would just bring in music to listen to.
That's so beautiful.
And you just sit there and listen because half of the battle is listening off the stage and on the stage.
Absolutely.
When you listen off stage correctly and in the real way, it definitely teaches you how to listen on stage as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so many
That's like
people.
the culture of what we do too, is like, have you listened to the, or making stuff. Like Jahi sent me some music that I haven't listened to yet. I can't wait to listen to it. It's the music that we make it's giving you the record. Like, do you have the Shirley Horn Here's to Life record? Have you listened to that? It's raining. Listen to that today. Any records that you tell me about, that's important, that exchange. That's vital information.
Absolutely.
It's better than the algorithm.
It's better than the algorithm.
We are the algorithm.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We are the algorithm.
The best one.
Absolutely.
Damn, we should make an app.
I know, right? I feel like we should do another segment.
Okay.
This is cool. I'm so honored to be the
This
first.
is fun.
The first
I know.
podcast.
Absolutely.
Will there be dancers?
Well, I was going to surprise you. I'm going to dance.
All right. I'll be waiting.
And the dancing will begin.
Yes. Yes. Oh. Axel F. Did you write this?
This segment is called Weird. He's out of breath. So
He's tired.
let him catch his breath.
You have to do that when you dance. You stop. You have to breathe.
Wait, but if his dad was here though, he would be.
Oh, my
he would
dad.
be so proud. He would be so
Go
proud.
ahead, boy.
Go ahead, now
Sorry
do
about
it.
that, boy.
We
Do.
played that the other day, and someone said, "This sounds like Herbie Hancock."
Oh, I love it.
I did channel a little Herbie in there.
I love
and
it.
the other guy who everybody thinks is Herbie, but it's not. That did Axel F.
Harold.
That did Axel F.
Harold
Fauntleroy, Fauntlemeyer,
something. Hammermeyer. He's got a long last name. Haven Meyer.
Heaven,
He's
my. It
got
sounds
a
like a
long
vacuum
la-
cleaner.
He's
Whatever
got
it
a
is.
long last name.
Huff Ho.
But for 20 years, I thought that was Herbie. In my mind, he was Beverly Hills
Because
Cop.
it sounds like Rocket.
It sounded like Rocket.
Yeah.
So this section is called
Weird Science.
Weird Science.
I like it.
Go ahead, explain the premise, Robert.
I love it.
So, Weird Science. Let's say you don't have a spouse.
Sure.
And right now you can make one.
Uh-huh.
You can make this person. Boop, 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 boop. You have to import 5 albums into this person's brain. Boop. What would those 5 albums be? Because then when you put those 5 albums in the person's brain,
It's gonna make the person.
I get it.
It's
It
going to
kind of-
shape their
It shapes
personality,
their personality and their musical taste,
Oh,
everything.
God.
and they're your partner. You're going to have to live with this person.
That's nuts. Because Becca sent me the questions and I was like, I don't read these questions.
I'm the same way.
I riff on the spot.
I'm the same way.
If I had to create a partner based on 5 albums.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, this is good. One of them has to be kind of blue
Mm-hmm.
because I need you to be quiet.
Wow.
Sometimes
That album is the gateway to stillness.
it is. It's so meditative.
Ooh.
Huh? Gateway.
I was about to say it. You said it.
What was
We
it?
got in this huge thing yesterday about what meditation means, and it was very lengthy.
Do you meditate?
Not legally.
Okay.
See,
Okay. And she's saying what?
is
We're
she
in
saying
there.
what I'm saying?
I think we're saying that we're all saying the same thing.
yes.
Because I don't meditate legally either. I guess what do you mean by that?
What I mean is that it is hard for me to stop my intrusive thoughts. And when I try to get still, sometimes it ends up very quickly becoming like Mr. Peanut in the middle of Times Square with a cane tap dancing. It could be with a stick of butter. It could be any stream of
You
consciousness.
keep mentioning stick of butter. Do we need to
I'm
have that all
hungry.
right? Are you hungry?
I don't know
We-
about the butter.
Can we get a stick of butter here, please?
A loaf of milk.
Margarine, you got it.
It's hard. It's hard for me to quiet my thoughts at times.
Yeah.
Music does that a lot for me. But to sit and do the thing it's a practice though. You're not supposed to be good at it for the first 40 years,
Right.
Correct.
right?
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
That's what, yeah, we're the same. Because he asked me if I meditated, and I was like, I guess in my own way, maybe not in the sense of what it really means to meditate, but I feel like when I'm deep when I'm playing, I would do that. I would come home and I would play. I would look up and it's 4 hours later,
Mhm.
and I didn't realize that. I've
I
been
feel
doing
like
that since high school.
I've seen you get tranced.
You know what I'm
feel
saying?
like
I can get tranced and nothing matters. Nothing.
Yeah.
Everything's gone. Even what I'm doing is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a meditative state in that
Right.
particular. So I know people tell me they meditate to my music,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess technically, if you're listening to music, technically you're not meditating.
Well,
I guess-
it's difficult to achieve a state of meditation when
There's other
there's
things.
other sources of
Right.
stimulus.
Other information.
So we're trying to figure out what is that state when you're listening to music, but it's allowing you to clear your head, but you're listening.
That is more like a flow state.
Is that the word?
I like
think
it.
so.
I like it.
I
Like
like
the
that.
record that I maybe hit you about it, that record that you and Derek did for that television show.
Run the world.
Yes.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful flow state record. Like I can drive with that record.
Mm.
I'm not meditating, but I'm definitely in a still sort of space. But to sit in the quiet when I can actually hear the blood running through my veins I haven't gotten there yet.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So the
I'm
first
there.
one in the brain of the new clone partner is Kind of Blue.
Kind of blue.
What's next?
Donny Hathaway live. Because I feel like that will help them understand me.
That's
somehow.
Troubadour, right?
At the Troubadour.
Troubadour, yeah.
Then probably Lalah Hathaway live. So you have all that. That's 3.
Boom.
these last two are really a bitch. Because
Why you turning to Cat Williams?
You did sound like
She said these last two is really a bitch, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, Jesus. I don't know.
Come on,
Just
Layla.
said
Come on, Layla.
Now, come on, Layla.
Come on,
you
Layla.
you know them last two.
the last two, oh man, the last two are hard because
I'm gonna let you slide on yours because I was gonna tell you. I was gonna say at the beginning, you can't add your own music.
No,
Yeah.
you can because it's your
you
partner.
have to.
So you got to make them love you even more if one
Yeah.
of their albums,
gotta
your albums
understand
is
me.
imprinted in your brain.
You gotta
Sure.
understand me, and it's live. So
Sure.
that's okay.
Okay.
The last two are gonna be
I was
like,
at the live one, by the way.
yes, you are.
you were
played-
at that
Oh,
show?
can we talk about that? That's
Yeah,
right.
you
We never
played on
talked
the
about
live
that. I don't think
one.
I've ever talked about it.
So your part on my live album,
Yes.
though, is like one of my favorite parts. It is one of the pieces that feels most like Daddy's record.
Wow.
It feels the most kind of really live in that moment. Because it's literally in real time, like you're changing the arrangement, and then we're all capitulating, like, oh, that's where we're going.
right.
And there's
Exactly.
something else happening. That's the conversation that musicians are having at such a super high level that people enjoy and don't even know why they enjoy it.
Right.
But it's such a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the song. It was amazing.
Right.
'Cause
It was beautiful.
I was with Lettucey around the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and we're recording something. I can't remember what it was. And Lettucey told me, she was like, Layla's around the corner at Troubadour doing a live record. You want to go? I was like, yes, let's go. And Troubadour, the way Troubadour works, when you walk in and you open the door, the stage is right there.
Right.
So if you happen to be, I think it happened to be facing where that
Mhm.
part. As soon as I walked in, it was like, you were like, Rob, come jump on. It's the
Yeah,
last song. I
hurry
think
up.
it's the last song of the set.
Yes.
It's the last song. Come jump on keys. I was like, oh, okay. And I walked straight up there, and Mike Goldberg was like, I think he was on keys.
It was Mike Alberg and Bobby Sparks.
And Bobby. Absolutely. Shout out to Bobby Sparks. And there was like, it's an E flat. You'll hear it. You
Yeah.
know? So then they started playing, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And we jumped on and just did the thing. But
it's such a beautiful moment because you came in and you're playing it, and it was something that unfolded and was so nice for me to see because I'm so used to playing with you in your setting.
right.
It was just nice. It was so nice
For me to be in your setting.
Yeah, it was nice.
Absolutely.
Just not even my setting, but nice to hear you working at something different than what I normally hear you working at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Well,
right.
she
yeah,
said
yeah.
it was. She basically saying it was nice to see you sweat a little bit, player.
He wasn't sweating
You
out.
had, he had one tickle.
It was no
It was
sweat.
just one.
It was no
maybe
sweat.
one?
It was no.
No,
He had no sweat because he
She said it was
does
nice
that.
to see you working. Like you don't work on your own shows.
No,
That's
no.
the implication. I hear an
No.
implication.
It was nice to watch that idea develop, and it just felt so. It was real. It really reminds me of that.
Your shows are so cool though, because you bring out so many different people. You never know who's gonna be at the Lalah show. Like I met so many people that I'm like at that particular show. Like
Really? At the live show?
I met Patty.
Yeah.
I met Anita.
Mm-hmm.
Anita Baker was there. Patti LaBelle was there. Keith Washington was there.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I don't know Keith Washington. I didn't know he was at the show.
Layla, I had a 15, 20-minute conversation with Keith Washington upstairs. And look, I'm a fan of, kissing
That's so random.
But the fact that he was on Martin took it to a whole nother level.
Right.
I'm upstairs and I go up to him. I'm like, oh, shoot, Keith Washington, let me go introduce myself. I went up to him like, hey, man, let's Rob Glasper, boom, boom. And as we're talking, a few people came up and asked for pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a musician. He said, well, I got my project, something like that. He had a project or something. He's like, I'm like, you make music still? I love it. Like,
yeah.
I haven't seen him in so long or
Yeah.
heard from him
I
in
think
so
he has
long.
a radio show or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, it was
that's so random.
It was gospel artists and it
Who?
was
Oh, Erica was there. Erica Campbell
Erica
came.
Campbell was there. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Erica and Warren were there. But
Mhm.
Dietrich Haddon was there.
He was?
That's where I met him. My very
Oh,
first time
that's
meeting him
crazy.
was at your show.
That's awesome.
Everybody come to see you, Layla.
That was
you're Lalah
awesome.
Hathaway.
I was so thankful.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a live album since like 92.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, nobody buys live albums. There's no reason. And then Erica made one that
Yeah.
did really well.
I love
And then
that one.
Jill did one that went crazy.
Absolutely.
And so even after that, people were like, eh. And at that point, I fired the manager I had.
Mhm.
Correct.
And I decided I'm doing a live album and
Yeah.
I'm going to do it at the Troubadour.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm doing.
Certain artists can do live albums and it matters. It doesn't matter if it sells or not. It's for the
I had
culture,
to,
for the
yeah.
art of it.
In the same room where Daddy did it.
Absolutely.
You
That's
know?
a whole nother reason why.
Yeah.
Whole nother reason why.
So-
Exactly. So we still need those two. Don't think you got away with it.
Oh.
Two albums.
Yep.
You know, it's weird because I would offer my childhood. So that would be like, you know, either probably songs in the key of life. You probably need
choice.
that. But then I would need some sort of like the Night Fly, Steely Dan situation. There are I cannot.
No, you got songs and you only got one left.
You got one left.
It's not like they're not gonna like other music. It's just that these 5 albums will be
But it's so
the
crucial.
cornerstones of.
It's so crucial. I may need Court and Spark. I may need
Oh, Lil Joni?
Joni Mitchell,
Yeah.
Court and Spark.
Okay.
Or I don't know.
Oof.
That's a hard one. Jesus Christ Superstar was one of my favorite albums growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
I love that movie.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. I loved it. I loved Carl. I loved the dude that played Jesus. I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I loved Yvonne Elliman.
Huh.
I love show tunes. Maybe I don't want nobody to know that about me.
Would you?
Oh,
Would
I
you
have
do?
a show tune. I have a whole show tune.
Would you
bag.
do-
I don't talk about.
Yeah, see, you don't talk
You
about
love
it.
show tunes. Would you do Broadway?
It depends. I don't know. I don't know how great I am at acting. I'm not good at talking.
You're great at talking.
You seem. Whenever
when
you
you
talk,
want to, when you want to be.
whenever
Yeah.
you
good
talk
at
to
it.
me, I like hearing you talk.
I'm
Yeah.
good at having conversations.
That's not a
I'm not
creepy
good at
thing.
like.
She has a voice that's
I'm
very
not really. I
soothing.
don't like the way my speaking voice sounds.
I don't like mine either.
Yeah, yours is good.
Mine is weird. I feel like I have a cold my whole life.
Oh,
Yeah.
You feel stuffy?
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I did think
you
Cody,
had a
in
cold
here,
when I
like
walked
in
in
here.
here.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh,
I
Yeah.
always felt that way with my voice. But it's just, it is distinctive though.
it is very distinctive.
People know when I'm saying, they know my voice.
My voice just doesn't match my singing voice.
Right.
See,
But it's not like Michelle A doesn't match. It just it's close.
Yeah, you'll be weird walking around. What's up, Rob?
Yeah.
Like, hey, hold on.
it just doesn't like the personality and charisma and whatever it is that you have on stage. Yours is pretty what and what though. Yours is pretty much the same.
Mhm.
Mine is. I don't even know who that girl is.
The on stage girl? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're freer on stage or off stage?
Regarding what?
Just- Your personality.
My personality, it's probably freer on stage. There's a thing about being in the element of music where I know that like I'm the greatest
Mhm.
in that piece, in that little section, because nobody is me.
Mhm.
And like Shaka's the greatest and Joni's the greatest. But in where I am on my lane,
Mhm.
I am the greatest.
Mhm.
And I feel very natural and very powerful in that setting.
Mhm.
It's different when I'm just at Ralph's
Yeah.
trying to buy eggs
Or a stick of butter.
or a stick of butter
Yeah.
or a quart of milk. I feel very, I'm very regular otherwise.
Yeah.
But
You're not the greatest person to ever buy a dozen eggs.
I'm not. I don't buy the greatest eggs. But I feel very powerful when I'm in my flow state of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah. I like flow state.
It's a good one.
It's
That's
a
nice.
thing.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I think it's the term we were looking for yesterday
that's
through
the
that whole
term.
conversation.
In
yeah.
Flow
some
state.
bands, I'm in a better flow state than others.
Mm-hmm.
Your band, I'm in a very good flow state.
Yeah.
Marcus
The
Miller's
DJ
band.
has a lot to do with that.
The
probably.
DJ.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so, Jahi.
yeah,
Yeah. I think so. You're right.
yeah. I feel.
It's true.
Yeah,
You're
it's
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jahi Sanders.
And I used to play with your
Robert Glasper.
brother.
Oh, you
He's
what?
the only DJ I listen to when I'm not at the place where the DJ's playing.
Oh, yeah.
Like me and Gigi, we put on Jahi mixes at home.
I can imagine. It's very
I'm
moody.
like, I'm with him every day, all the time.
Yes,
you would
he's
think
there.
I want to get away from him.
He's part of your mind.
Absolutely.
He's built into the fabric.
Absolutely.
This
Of
fool
your
is
mind.
in my mind too, man.
understand.
It's annoying.
I understand. I
Get him out of
understand.
here.
I do understand. I do understand.
Like, ew. What do we got? Is there another
We got some more questions over
thing?
here.
What's the thing?
It's
we
hard
got?
for us to be formal, ain't it?
It's super hard.
It's crazy.
I know,
We're
I
dressed
know.
up and sitting here in
Absolutely.
these thrones.
There's
We should have did this at my house at the kitchen counter. We just
Absolutely.
changed the location.
you
You
know,
still have one of the best views I've ever seen of anyone's house ever.
Thank you.
That view.
Neighborhood's changing.
Oh my gosh.
Back to like family stuff. We are, all of us here all have music parent.
Mm-hmm.
A parent who played music professionally for a living.
Mm-hmm.
All of us in
I
this
have
room.
two.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Some of us have two.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in this position, how do you navigate through like family music, family stuff? What's that like? And then another question of subset of that is, how's your relationships with the other kids from the musical families? And are y'all all cool? Like, do you hang out with Ravi Coltrane and
No.
Right.
Sean Lennon?
And Aisha?
And
No, I wish.
no.
Aisha, I haven't seen her in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mother is, you've met her. She's
Mhm.
very regular.
Mhm.
My mother kept things real chill and real regular,
Mm.
which is why I'm not nuts boots.
Right.
So she was the person in her family. Her sister's also a musician. And my father's grandmother was a musician. Like, it comes from so many generations and so much around the family. I feel like it was such a part of my family growing up that I thought everybody's family had at least one musician. It didn't dawn on me that like, oh, your dad doesn't play keys or play piano or your mom is not a singer. That was a very regular thing for me. I did a tour some years back with Sandra St. Victor called Daughters of Soul tour.
All right.
So that was me, Shaka's daughter, Nina Simone's daughter. And it was interesting hearing them talk about their experiences because it had not been mine. I think it would be different if my mother had been like the principal musician in our family, but my dad was, and I'm a woman. So I have relationships with children of, not very many, but probably the one that I recognize first is like probably Kiara Sheard.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
She to me looks like, okay, she's taking her family legacy and like really elevating it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, I don't know any other kids.
I always
though.
forget about her. Absolutely.
She's the bomb.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
She's untouchable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's not very many singers I'm into.
No, and there's not many of them that are great like their
There
parent
are
was.
many that are great.
No, not that like their parent was, for sure.
Well, if you
No.
have a great parent,
Yeah, not even
It's-
close to the parent.
it's hard
Yeah,
because
I know.
people are, particularly women, unfortunately,
Yeah.
they're looking for you to live up to what that person is. You know,
Yeah.
how
Sure,
can you
there's that.
sing if Aretha or Shaka or you can do it,
Yeah.
but no matter how great you are, you'll never be. Those people are iconic, and they have put such a foot in the culture
Mm-hmm.
that you're constantly probably trying to meet that to some extent.
Or not.
And that's got to be hard.
Yeah. You know, some of them I feel like a little lazy with it. Like, oh, I don't have to do the work.
Perhaps, but
My mama is so and so.
But
well,
I'm
no,
saying
you have to do more work.
it's
actually.
hard though because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For
Oof.
sure. For sure. But I was talking about that not too long ago. This is one of our backstage talks. I was like, what parent-child combo
Mm-hmm.
where you can really be like, yo, they're both really dope.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
We talked
it was
about
like
that.
maybe a month ago or something like that. Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
long
yeah.
ago.
Who'd you
We're
come
like,
up
it's
with?
argued. They're both really dope. Like, there's not a
There's no question.
Karen,
They're both super
Kiera.
killer.
Karen, Kiera,
Kiera.
you, your pops.
Thank you.
What's the next question we got?
What about I don't even know any other singers. I'm sure there's so
He
many.
ran out of names and then he started talking about what's the but you got another question,
Not when
Johnny?
it's like, you know.
It's just the two.
Wait,
just those pairs.
What about
just those pairs?
I just can't think right now, but there are many.
I mean, there's like Natalie and Nat King Cole.
Yes.
There's them.
Okay.
In a certain way, there's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily matching to the dads, but
Yeah.
career-wise was
Yeah.
great and
Yeah.
all the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only gonna name black folks on.
You know what I mean?
What about Sean and John Lennon?
Well, Sean.
I know.
You said
Son.
Sean John. I thought about P. Diddy. I don't know. Now we're going a whole different.
What about? What about?
We want to turn that corner on this conversation, do we?
Now you know. What about? Yeah, I don't know. It's more. It's hard. Music is a hard thing, and people think because it's everywhere that it's easy to do.
Absolutely.
And it's not.
Absolutely.
It's labor intensive. And people work a long time to be good. They say like 10,000 hours or whatever. And it's not a thing you could just start doing. I mean, you can now in the world, but it's not an easy thing. It's always the thing that is taken for granted. Like you will get to an event and they know good and well that without the music, the event doesn't pop. And the sound sucks, and you don't have the stuff you need, and the speakers don't sound right.
All that.
We're always the stepchildren of all the people.
Same for shows, TV shows, movies.
Absolutely.
Because now that I'm scoring a lot, I see movies without the music now, and I'm like, oh wow,
this movie sucks.
I can really see how music can make a movie, or sometimes the music makes the movie.
Sometimes.
Absolutely.
Many times the music has carried
literally
the movie.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, what's his name? Star Wars, the only part of the movie he was satisfied with of the first Star Wars movie was the score.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Right.
It's a super famous, like,
right.
Let it be known. The visual effects, not where I wanted them to be.
Right.
This not where I wanted it to be. This is not where, the only thing that came through 100%, John Williams.
Absolutely.
Boom.
Score.
Boom.
This is the thing, people don't think they listen to music as much as they do. But if you're even quiet in this room and it's quiet, you can hear a lot of things.
Absolutely. Especially
like
if you're on mushrooms.
The music, the music tells you when to cry. The music
growing.
tells you when it's funny.
Yeah.
If you look at a reality show now, they create drama and they build tension like with the symbol, like
Absolutely.
They use little things to give you indications. Your
yeah.
body understands how to feel based on sound.
Yep. They give
So
you direction.
it's
tells
the
you what
most
to
important
feel.
thing.
Absolutely.
That's why we should get paid a lot more.
Absolutely.
At least a penny per stream. At least one.
Yeah.
Is it crazy that we're fighting for at least one penny per stream?
Is my song worth 1 penny?
Can I get 1 penny?
A penny sounds nice, actually.
You know what I mean?
Penny would change a lot of our lives.
It's a fraction of
Literally.
a penny. How crazy is that?
It's a fraction of a penny.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Was it point three?
It's 3 zeros.
0.00032. 32. Jesus
That's
Christ.
terrible.
Yeah.
That's what Spotify's paying.
Huh?
Keep him. He knows everything.
I told you he knows
He knows everything.
I know. I call them snap effects.
Yes.
I'd be wrong half the time, and I just speak with confidence.
I like it. Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You got to really.
He could tell me anything. I'd be like, word. Like, Rob, you know, we're all 39% milk. I'd be like, what?
Yeah. You didn't know?
That's crazy.
Your body is made of 17 sticks of butter. Yes.
You and the butter. What's going on with you and the
I just
butter?
hit it again because I'm a Larry David fan. It's a motif. I just keep hitting the motif.
I heard there's a new Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, new season is going on now. It's killing.
I think it's the last one.
It's the final season.
It has to be.
It is. Yeah,
Are you
it's
a
done.
Larry David fan?
I love Larry David.
Same.
It's
Love
done.
I was sad about Richard Lewis.
What's wild is I love him and his show and hate Seinfeld.
I wasn't
Different
a
things.
huge
Yeah, I
Seinfeld,
hear
but
you.
yeah, it's a totally
I
different
did not
thing.
like Seinfeld at
I
all.
hear you.
Yeah.
But his show
I like
is,
Seinfeld for different reasons. but
Yeah.
I
hear
just
you.
couldn't get with it.
I hear you.
Are
Yeah.
you guys into like dry comedy?
Love it.
I love it.
Okay, so look, here's the thing. Don't you wish that you had a separate comedy career?
Sure.
Because I do too. Do you really though?
Sure. Yeah. People tell me that I should
Same.
do it, but it's like I'm so in here with it. You know, I flirt with comedy here
Absolutely. And
because
it's nice
it's a safe space because I don't have to be funny. If I'm funny, it's
Absolutely.
extra.
and if I'm not funny, I can just start riffing.
Absolutely.
Oh. But yes, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it equally gratifying when you play something and the musicians in the room say, woo, and when you say something really funny and the comedians in the room laugh? It's a similar feeling.
It is. But here's the thing that the problem is we don't have to get a woo as a musician because you can still enjoy it and not get a woo.
Absolutely.
With comedians, if you don't hear laughter,
It's a trouble
it
thing.
was a bad, you're not,
It's trouble.
what's happening?
It's trouble.
It's the worst. It's the hardest.
Trouble.
You know, I've been watching Dave for a minute. I've been
Sure.
like blessed to be around him, like from the beginning of a joke and watching it flourish throughout
Uh-huh.
a year or two, and then goes to the comedy
Oh,
specials.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, as a comedian, you have to practice in front of people.
They're like musicians.
You can't have a hit record.
Right.
When you have a hit record, you can no longer can perform that. As singers and musicians, we get a hit record. Every show we can perform that song because they come to hear that song. You have a hit joke, you can't tell them no more.
But don't they kind of refine it a bit? Yeah.
No. Most of the time, you leave that joke alone.
Once the heavy media piece comes out,
the special's gone.
You can't do it again. You could do it all that lead up and refine it as much as you want.
Yeah.
Once
the record comes out,
once Eddie Murphy tells the ice cream joke,
that's
he cannot go in that movie. In the
canon of jokes.
Imagine if he went to a spot and was like, "I'm gonna tell the ice cream joke." Yeah, I've heard it 40 times. People, yes, we would love it now for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right.
But as a professional, it's not the same.
Yeah. And conversely, when I go to sing a song, the people, they want what's on the record.
They want the record.
They want to sing along.
They want to sing along. And that's very important to me. Like, I give them at least the first verse and chorus so they can sing along.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's important.
Totally. 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to ask you some 7 rapid questions.
Uh-huh.
And you just got to give us the first thing that comes to your mind.
Got it.
All right?
You ready?
Here we go.
Ready.
What's your favorite cereal?
Kashi. That's a lie.
What makes you happy?
Oh, music.
What makes you sad?
Death.
Least favorite word?
Probably fungible right now.
If you could do another job, you're not a singer, what are you doing?
Comedy.
Okay. And what kind of porn do you watch?
We were just discussing that. I'll say this, that the porn that I might have heard about or watched is nothing compared to the keywords that I have to put in to get to said porn. All right?
Whoa. I like that answer.
Let's leave it at that.
Okay. And the last question, can I have a loan?
How much?
Just, something small, 60, 75,000.
Can I loan you the fungible kind?
Lalah Hathaway, y'all. Lady Hathaway.
Or is it not fungible? Yes.
We love you. Absolutely.
It's just one pin.
It's just one.
Can I get pin?
Theme song, I think. Is that how we do it?
Yeah.
Is that how we do it? That's how we do it. All right. Yes. Thank you, Lalah. We love you so much.
This was awesome. So fast.
I know. We have to have you back.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. All right, folks. This was Black Radio Backstage with Lalah Hathaway. And of course, my trusty sidekick over here, Jahi Sundance.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. It was our first show.
It was great.
Great.
Awesome.
Awesome.